Stumbling, crumbling, crashing of bones in a human wave. Voices suffocated, engulfed, so no one can be saved. And here I am, weeping and hugging his lost shoe from that tragic day.
Annyeonghaseyo, this is Mark Peterson with the Frog Outside the Well Research Center. And today, as you can see, I have three very special guests. These guests are the high school and grade school, the pre-college winners of the Sejong Cultural Society Sijo contest for this year. And we just announced the winners over the weekend. And we have with us Jade McMullen from Albany, New York. Is that right, Jade?
Yes.
Welcome. It's nice to see you. Jade took first place in the competition. We don't have the second place winner, but we have the third place winner, which is Eden Park. Eden, you're from Las Vegas. Is that right?
Yeah, that is.
That's wonderful. And then we have an honorable mention, Sydney Castleheim, who's from Boston, the Boston area in Massachusetts. Welcome, Sydney. It's nice to see you here.
Nice to see you too.
And Sydney is in the 5th grade. So once in a while in this competition, it's mostly high schoolers. We do see a few grade schoolers slip in. So we're just really happy to see you, Sydney, in this group. So Jade, what does a first place poem sound like? Let's hear your poem, please.
Jade the stone is vivid green, smooth and sleek, translucent. This jewel symbolizes wealth, highly valued by nobility. Jade is me. It is my given name. I'm just trying to survive.
Yeah, very nice. We'll come back to Jade and talk about her poem in a moment. But let's hear Eden's poem.
Stumbling, crumbling, crashing of bones in a human wave. Voices suffocated, engulfed, so no one can be saved. And here I am, weeping and hugging his lost shoe from that tragic day.
I don't know if I mentioned, but I've been one of the judges in this year's competition. So I evaluated these poems with 3 others that rated all your poems. And Eden, I confess, when I finished your poem, I was weeping because I know this incident in Itaewon. I was in Korea at the time this happened, and it was just a tragic, tragic story. And your poem just captured that beautifully. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now for a lighter version, not as heavy or as sad as Eden's poem, is Sydney's poem.
Family. I love them all, and yet sometimes they annoy me. My sister was made the queen, but she's so cold. Literally. Disney films, so predictable. They all do fine in the end.
So you can have trouble in the family, but like a Disney film, it all turns out fine in the end. Is that the message?
Yes.
Thank you, Sydney. That's beautiful. Jade, tell me, how did you come to discover Sijo and to decide to write in this poetry contest?
It was an assignment for my writing class from my teacher, Mrs. Tosi, and she had us watch videos on the Sijo, and that inspired me to write one and enter the contest.
What videos did you see, for heaven's sake?
We saw a couple of your videos, and I'm not exactly sure what the other ones were, but we watched about 4.
Oh, that's excellent. Tell me, what was it like to try to fit this message inside the structure of a Sijo? What was that like for you?
Well, when you look at the Sijo, it looks really simple at first, but it's more complex when you're writing it. And it's really hard at first to try and fit everything you want to say while fitting it in the structure.
Do you like Sijo? Do you like this format?
Yes, I did like it, and I enjoyed writing it once I figured out what I wanted to do.
Have you written poems in haiku format?
Yes, I have.
Okay, here's a big question. Which do you like better, Sijo or haiku?
I think I like the Sijo better.
Because?
Well, I did like the structure of how the syllable count and the message, the theme, and the twist.
That's wonderful. Thank you. The reason you wrote your poem, the reason you wrote it was in touch with your name, right? You're talking about your name and what it means. So the poem must have had a very special meaning for you.
Yes, it did.
And Jade is a beautiful name and a beautiful, beautiful message.
Thank you.
Eden, let's talk about your poem. As I mentioned already, I was in Korea at the time that this occurred. What made you decide to write a poem about this tragic event in Itaewon?
I think it was just a shocking event, like in Korea and globally. Like I think it was one of the first like Halloween celebrations after COVID. So like more people came out to celebrate Halloween or like just to hang out with their friends and party. And like after I received the news that like this like traumatic event happened, I found it so shocking how like such a festive and happy event could go so downhill and just basically like kill 200 people around and like injure that many people as well.
How did you first hear about the tragedy in Itaewon?
I think someone sent me like a news post about it. I don't quite remember, but yeah, but it was like around the media for around a week. So I kept like hearing about it and like researching or like searching it more about it.
How did you come up with the idea of you personalized the story as if you were the girlfriend of someone who died, and you said, all I have is their shoe to hold on to. That token of friendship and love, that the only thing that remains is a shoe, was a very powerful symbol. How did you come up with that?
I think that line where like hugging and weeping is last shoe, that's the line that I spent like the most thought on. I try to put in every single like genuine and honest like emotion into every single word, since there is like a limited number of syllables. I kept looking through photos of the event and like afterwards. Yeah. So that was one of my inspirations.
Oh, and afterward there were shoes and backpacks and other things, packages of snacks and drinks, and just a total mess of everything left on the ground after they cleared away the dead and the injured.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Again, Eden, thanks so much for such a wonderful poem. Was it hard to get the meter to work for you?
Not necessarily. I think it was pretty okay. Yeah.
Now, for a change of pace from a very sad, heavy poem, we're going to go to a very lighthearted poem by our youngest author today. Tell me, Sydney, about writing your poem and the tension in your family. Like you're cold. You indeed have an older sister who's a queen?
No, I have an older brother and a younger brother. They are not kings, nor are they queens.
So you imagined having a sister who's a queen, and you're talking Ilsa and Frozen, aren't you?
Yes.
That was your specific Disney story that you were looking at, wasn't it?
Yes.
I bet you're a big fan of Frozen. Is that true?
Yes, I really like the movie.
Do you sing all the songs?
Meh. But I tried to incorporate a mystery factor in my poem, and the first line was just like, I guess, background information. The second line was more of a clue as to who this might be, and the third line was like the twist that helped you like put it all together.
Perfect.
I've always really liked mysteries and the like effect that it has on your mind, that like you think it's one thing and then it's a different thing.
Oh, that's perfect. You're a great little writer. Now, Sydney, I understand that your writing background goes to journalism. You have a newspaper you started when you were in the second grade.
Yes, I write about current events. I sometimes do book or movie reviews.
Who inspired you to do that? That's a marvelous thing for a second grader to start doing. Where did you get the idea?
So during the pandemic, my school was online, and I was thinking of how I could get news to people without like actually talking to them. So when I was in second grade, I created a newspaper, and I was thinking, how am I going to get it to them? So I mailed it to them.
Well, thank you all. I appreciate very much you joining me today. And again, congratulations on your Sijo. Try again next year, and we'll hope to see you in the winner's circle in the future, okay? Okay, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.